About 1,000 National Park Service employees have been fired in the latest rounds of cuts by the Trump administration.
I knew the writing was on the wall, but I mean, nothing will just prepare you for the shock that you'll really get once you get that letter, because you know it's everything I love. It's the Park Service. I mean, our national monuments and parks are just our greatest treasure, and it just ruined my dream, you know.
The people were fired in their probationary period, like this former custodian.
I mean, just what's going to happen is just no one's going to be there to pick up the trash. I mean, you'd be amazed with how many just diapers I pick up off the side of the road, beer bottles, toilet paper, all the stuff that you don't have to see. You get to see the park in its true natural beauty.
These job cuts come as part of billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency plans to rewrite where and how federal dollars are spent.
The Park Service is kind of an interesting place. A lot of the people that work there, they're overqualified, underpaid, and the reason they're working there, they love the place and they want to give back.
About 325 million people visit the 433 parks and historic sites managed by the National Park Service each year. According to the National Parks Conservation Association, 16 out of the 17 supervisors at Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming were fired. These cuts leave one person to hire, train, and support employees. Andrea Townend was a carnivore specialist at the National Park Service, working with endangered species at Yosemite National Park.
I oversaw the research projects that were happening in Yosemite for both fishers and Sierra Nevada red fox, both of which are federally endangered carnivore species in the southern Sierra Nevada mountains.
Townend has actually worked for the National Park Service for more than 20 years, but was considered probationary because she was recently promoted to a new job.
Bigger picture, long term, what does this mean for the state of national parks? What does this mean for wildlife conservation? It's really scary. It's a really uncertain time for those of us who care about conservation and public lands, so I am definitely worried for the future.
The question on many minds is, what's next?
People around here are pretty depressed. They're a little worried about what's going to happen. How much further is it going to go? I mean, this, for all we know, this is just the first step. Who knows what's going to happen?
The Trump administration says it will allow the National Park Service to hire seasonal workers for the busy spring and summer. But that does not mean those fired will get to resume their jobs.
We're going to begin with federal workers asking what the heck is going on, among other things they're saying, as they struggle to figure out what is happening with their jobs and make sense of what they're hearing from Elon Musk. Now, as you've heard, he has told them via social media to send an email with 5 things they did last week, or else they will lose their jobs. But now they are fighting back with a lawsuit, and they're also showing up at town halls across the country demanding that Congress stand up for them. Weijia Zhang is at the White House with more on the story. Weijia, good morning to you. People getting very frustrated and speaking up.
And the twists and turns keep coming, Gail. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. Elon Musk initially set a deadline of midnight last night for those federal workers to comply with his order to justify their jobs in writing. With just hours to go, Musk backtracked, telling staffers they now have more time. His moves are not only causing confusion, but anger.
President Trump praised Elon Musk for threatening to terminate federal workers who do not share 5 accomplishments from their week.
Everyone thought it was a pretty ingenious idea. We have to find out where these people are. Who are they?
But even Trump could not give a definitive explanation about the consequence of not complying.
And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired.
Hours before the midnight deadline, Musk posted on X, subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Then came further guidance from the Office of Personnel Management about the Monday night deadline, saying agency heads may exclude personnel from this expectation at their discretion, but also agencies should consider any appropriate actions regarding employees who fail to respond.
I want to let you know there's a legal and proper way to downsize government.
People are lashing out at their representatives in Congress, like Republican Mark Alford in Missouri at a town hall yesterday.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
After hearing from furious constituents last week,
a lot of this stuff will be litigated in court, right? Some of it.
Georgia GOP Congressman Rich McCormick now says there should be studies on the impact of mass firings.
If you want to talk about things I'm critical, I think we're just moving a little bit too fast.
Robert McCabe, who was fired from the IRS, says he voted for Trump. Now he's stunned over how much power the president has.
I wasn't voting for a king. He has to answer to Congress. And that's my big question is where are our congressional leaders?
McCabe says he feels for the federal workers who are agonizing over their futures.
I mean, it felt like we were going into a prison every day, just doing our death march, waiting for the hammer to drop.
Anger is not only starting to boil over at those congressional town halls, there have also been some other public displays of protest. Over the weekend, workers at Yosemite National Park hung an American flag upside down at the El Capitan rock formation. The traditional sign for distress was meant to draw attention to the Trump administration's cuts to the National Park Service. Tony?
And it has done that. Leisha, thank you very much. Appreciate it.